What's up, everybody? Welcome to Metal Remains Backstage. My name is Manuel from Madrid, and I have a special guest from Italy. We have Steva from the band Deathless Legacy.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. Finally, we made it.
Yes.
And it's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. We've been brewing this interview for like a month or so.
Yeah.
Because of the holidays. We wanted this to be the first interview of 2023 because we were very involved with your music. And that's something we're going to talk about in a bit. But Steva, how are you tonight?
I'm very good, thank you. I was sick last week after the Tons of Metal destroyed me. But yeah, I'm alive now, almost. Or undead.
Undead, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And this is something we always like to ask our guest musicians. What do you listen to on a regular basis these days?
These days, I have a very PSD or post-ship depression. So I'm listening to all the bands that I enjoy during the Tons of Metal, mostly Evergrey and Dark Tranquillity. But I always put in there some type of negative because they're my must. I'm also lately I'm enjoying Slipknot quite a bit. And I don't dislike at all like vaporwave and synthwave coming off metal. So when I work or where I do something like that I don't need lyrics, I just put something like that or Mick Gordon.
Okay, good. Well, for me, ever since it came out, I've been listening to one particular album on repeat. It's Mater Larvarum, your fifth studio album that was released last December.
Yeah.
To be honest, this is real. I've been captivated by its dark and elegant sound. How would you describe it to people that are unfamiliar with it?
First of all, thank you so much. I would say that dark could be like some way of describing it, but in a bittersweet taste, I would say. Like the inspiration for this album, I would say it's type of negative mood, like that kind of darkness. I don't know how to explain, but it's some kind of deep inside darkness that needs to come out somehow. And that's how I would explain it. Like it's a bit of course, symphonic and metal. Thinks about. I mean, it's a mix of many things, and I think it's the way Deathless Legacy found their sound and grown up album compared to the previous one. I feel like this one is more ours, maybe because it was a really needed one because of the pandemic and everything. We had a lot of stuff to take out of our souls, unpack. And so I think it's, or at least for me, it's one of the most important albums ever made for me.
Awesome.
As an artist and as a person.
That's great. And you are right. It sounds a bit different from your previous work. Yeah. I started listening to your band with this, but I've been retroactively listening back, and I've noticed like an increase in quality, an increase in passion that you can hear. Yeah. Your voice is also more matured, which is awesome.
Thank you.
And talking about your voice, one of the attributes of it is that melancholic sound that it has. We described it in our review for this album to be like the voice of a vampire that enthralls you into doing whatever she commands. That's a
totally accurate
a phrase from my peer Carlos, who sent you his greetings, by the way.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about your vocal influences?
They're very wide, not strictly metal. If I have to say someone that really influences me, I wouldn't know who to say, because I really try to get as much inspiration as much as I can from everything. I feel like even something you don't like, how it sounds, some voices you don't like, or the way of someone's singing that you don't enjoy can teach you so much. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I've developed during the pandemic because I've started to listening to a lot of stuff. I used to be very like, I like this band, I listen this band, period. The pandemic made me want to, since we couldn't make music, play, go to see concerts, we couldn't do anything music related. I felt like this need of
only podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. I felt this need of expanding my horizons and listening to everything. And I found that really you can find inspiration in everything. So it's hard for me to say like, this inspires me because I've grown up listening to King Diamond, but of course my singing is not related to.
It's different.
Yeah. But I've never listened to much of like symphonic stuff, female metal singers. I've started to enjoy them more during the pandemic, as I was saying. So I don't know, because like if I have to think back of what I used to listen when I started to sing metal-wise, I was listening to Death SS, which is one of our biggest influences, Rammstein, which is my big love, and King Diamond, Merciful Fate. So it's hard for me to pick one and tell you this is what, really difficult.
And I think the special thing is that you don't use a traditionally metal sounding voice. Usually in metal, you have high pitch or low growls, or you have the typical operatic lady singing. Yeah. You don't have any of that, but you achieve like a darker sound by being passionate. I think that's the way I will describe it, because it feels like you're tearing your soul out while singing, and that as listeners we receive that and we feel whatever you're trying to make us feel. And also that goes along with the lyrics and talking about them. On the album there's a song that stands out to me, Hollow, that seems to describe the pain of losing a loved one. Can you elaborate on the meaning of this song, please?
First of all, thank you for your words regarding my voice, because it's exactly what I want to do. Like for me, it's a need to sing my emotions like that. Otherwise, I would be a serial killer, no, for sure. And yeah, Mater Larvarum is a concept album. It has a story behind it. It's not strictly inside the lyrics, but we wrote a novel and a book. It's now just in Italian, but we are planning to translating it as soon as possible. Okay. So it's like some kind of mysterious death of someone, of the main character's sister, and tries to dig into that feeling of losing someone. It happened to be like a weird coincidence, but last year I experienced some losses in my family, and that's why I told you, like, it's life. Unfortunately, it happens, but I really needed that album, like a way to exercise my pain. And during the recordings, I was living this kind of suffering, so I think I put everything I could, especially in Hollow, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it, like if it standed out somehow, because it's really important for me.
Yes, as a song. I think it's not the first song that you will remember when listening to the album. There are many good ones with riffs that are catchy, with these awesome keyboard solos that I love, that sound like 70s bands, classic rock band, something like that. But this is when connecting with the music, I think that's what touched me the most, because I could feel this pain through it, and that's very powerful. And Esteva, we got to know your band through your music videos. Since we do funny summaries in our podcast that everybody should check out on youtube.com/metalremains, the summary for Ora Pro Nobis video was something like, devout nun makes her daily prayers after changing the motor oil on her convent's van. Because you're singing with the hands covered in black, and that really stuck to us. What can you tell us about that video?
It was a very difficult video to record, because as you can imagine, like finding a church, we wanted to find a church to record it, but no one wanted to give us a church. As soon as we explained them the plot, they were like, no, too much. I mean, it's not that extreme, like lyrics wise, we were sending. So it was like giving birth to a baby for real, for how long it took us to find the locations and everything. But we are very happy of how it ended up to look like. We don't have many videos with outside shootings. It's usually in studio or inside some places. And that was really interesting, like video wise, to like move and have people looking at you. But I really like that video. And as you say, yeah, that's an accurate description of my black hands. Black hands are like because if you would have looked at that video without the black hands, it could have seemed like a Christian metal song.
It's just like a regular nun. And I showed this to my mom, who is very religious, and told her like the lyrics, like translation of them, and she was like, "Hey, but this is very good." She's like, "Pray for everybody, pray for us," and all that. So it has like you can reach everybody with that video, and that's something we really liked. Steva, I had something prepared for you regarding the look you have on that video, but I need you to stand very still and look at the camera, so don't move at all. Okay.
Okay.
Wanna see if we can make this work. There you go.
I love it.
Yeah, but I need to adjust just a little bit. Okay, here we are. And this is the thing, Steva. Carlos and I have sent, so we have come to you, Madre Steva, to make our confession, because we have been watching and listening to a metal band that's very blasphemous from Italy, that's called Deathless Legacy. Can you please forgive us for doing that? Can you give us your absolution?
I don't know if I can give you my absolution, but I just say a couple of prayers tonight and your soul will be saved.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Madre Steva. Goodbye.
No problem. Goodbye.
I wanted to do that a lot. And
I loved it.
So, Steva, one of the early highlights on your career was performing at Wacken Open Air in 2015 after winning Italy's Metal Battle. How did that experience impact your band's career moving forward?
I think it was like crucial because we started to see Deathless Legacy not just as like a band, friends playing together and playing sometimes, but we saw how like a real festival was, like such a big festival was. And it inspired us so much that as soon as we came back, we started recording immediately a new album because we were hyper stimulated, but that experience and the inspiration we got from Wacken was immense, of course. Like you see so many people, so many bands of every caliber. So it was like a push forward and be like, hey, if you want to do this again, you need to put 3 times much, 30 times, 300 times much efforts than what you've been doing since now. And I think it's changed our approach mostly to our music and to the way we saw it. Like we started to see it as something more concrete. I don't know how to explain it. I hope it makes sense somehow.
Yeah, it does. Facing this bigger place, lots of people, more professional bands inspires you to do it that way. And there's a reason why I'm wearing this shirt. This says 2014. This is because I got it at the bargain bin. It was a cheaper shirt because I bought it on 2015. I was there in Wacken.
And that's crazy.
I was coming to join some other musicians from my country that were playing, and I remember watching this band. This girl came out like twisted and walking this way, and I thought, what the hell is wrong with her? And I remember it perfectly. It was you, of course, but I couldn't connect it with you with watching Ora Pro Nobis because your look is so different.
Yeah.
But when
I'm older
coming back,
now too.
But it's not that, because your stage outfit might seem similar for what you're using today from what you were using back then, which is a lot of ash, I think, or white powder. I don't know what it is.
I think it's dust, probably.
Maybe like, I think it's ashes from corpses or something like that.
See, look where I am.
In hell, of course, in Doom's hell. But I was very surprised when making the investigation for the interview. I noticed it was this band I remember from 2015. So that's pretty good.
That's crazy.
Good connection. I'm hoping to look at you again in the future.
I hope to.
Live. And talking about more recent stuff. One of your latest shows was 8,000 kilometers away from home in Italy, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And we're talking about the 70,000 tons of metal cruise ship festival that went from Miami to Bahamas and back earlier this month. What can you tell us about this experience?
It's something I think for real, every metalhead should live this at least once in their life, because it's impossible to describe how it feels. Like you are on this big cruise, which is 14 or 15 floors, just the decks where
it's like a mall then there is, on the water.
Yeah, it's really, it's a mall for real, because you have stuff inside, you can buy everything, and it's full of metalheads, and the connection with the other musicians is crazy. Like it's a walking backstage. Everyone is everywhere.
Hey, like backstage, like our segment.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You eat in the same places as every other person. There is no backstage behind the stage itself. So you see big metal bands like on stage testing their stuff and sound checking, line checking. And everyone is super friendly. Like you meet 2 million people that are all there for the same reason, which is having fun and enjoying some music. You have shows till like never stopping once. Like we played at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, and it was full.
I saw the pictures.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like we didn't. At first, when we saw the running order and we saw like 4:30, we say, well, it's a really big stage, but probably there won't be too much crowd because it's late. People need to sleep. No, there you don't sleep. Neither I have slept at all. Like the whole cruise, maybe I've slept like 10 hours.
But you are a creature of the night, so I think you might be sleeping during the day.
That's right. Yeah, but for real, if everyone watching this, please try if you can to live that experience at least once in your life, because it's something that it connects you to music and musicians in a way that's, and to other fellow metalheads. Like everyone is there for the same passion, as I said. It's like Disneyland for metalheads.
Great.
Because you have 60 bands playing continuously. Every band plays twice, yes. So if you miss once, you can manage to... I'm only biting my hands because I didn't manage to watch Rotting Christ. But every time we had something to do, they were playing. So it was literally impossible. But I'm glad that I've seen so many. Like my bucket list is like thick, so many of the bands I wanted to see. And I had the huge pleasure of playing in the All-Star Jam too, with Evergrey's guitar player, Henrik.
Yeah, I think I saw that also.
Evergrey is like one of my favorite bands. So like it was too much. When I came back, I had fever, probably too much. It was a shock.
It wasn't too much beer, definitely. It was just the impression.
No beer, because it's the only problem of that place is that beer is expensive as fuck. I swear. A beer was $11.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We complain.
It was... Yeah, exactly. Like I came back in Italy and got beer for €5 at clubs, and it felt like heaven.
This is nothing.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
And for our final question, Steva, can you share with us one of your favorite backstage moments?
Oh, there are so many. Like one of the funniest backstage moments, it's not a real backstage one, but it brings me back to the Tons of Metal. While I was waiting to play the first show there, we had to be there 2 hours before our show. I was walking through the main hall, and a girl stopped me and asked me, "Hey, your outfit looks sick. Would you like to make cupcakes with batushka?" And I was like, "Excuse me, what? Wait, I have a really juicy one."
Okay, go ahead.
And it was like 2011, so a lot of years ago. We were playing in Rome. Everyone was vegan there. Mm-hmm. There was our intro, so I had to step on the stage. I was already climbing the steps. Mm-hmm. The organization crew stopped me, and it's like, "Hey, what's this story that you have asked someone from Rome to bring you an alive rabbit to kill on stage?" And I was like, "What the fuck? Me? Hans? I would never do anything like this. Show me this person. I want to see them." And so this was the intro was playing, and I had to go see this person that clearly wasn't all right. Like, I don't know if they were on drugs or what. They had for real a rabbit on their purse. So we were like, "Oh my God, you brought a rabbit in a concert?" And this guy was like, "Did she really ask you to bring this rabbit to kill on stage?" And she was like, "Oh no, that's my rabbit. Don't look at it." I was like, "This person is crazy.
This is my concert rabbit."
It was awful. Like, that was the craziest thing that's ever happened to me, I think, in a backstage.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. And remember, everybody, don't take your farm animals near Steva because she's gonna slaughter them in the stage.
No, I'm gonna cuddle them, and then I won't play.
Oh, then she's gonna take them home with her.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Well, thanks everybody for watching this video. Thank you, Steva, for being with us in this interview. I really hope we can do this again in the future when you are in person and not in these boxes. If you liked it, please share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel. Make sure to buy and stream Mater Larvarum to support Deathless Legacy, and don't miss their upcoming shows whenever they come to your city.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, you too. It was a pleasure to be here, and see you next time.
Thank you. See you next time, and until then, stay metal!